Warning: this video is intended to explain the process and may not be 100% accurate. Refer to the service manual for your machine or take it to the professionals. Attempt at your own risk.
Today I'm going to show you how to replace the fork seals on a 2014 CRF 150R and RB. It's really not a hard job as long as you have the right tools. The main thing that you're going to need that might be specialty is like a fork seal driver. You can kind of get them a little bit everywhere. Just make sure it does fit this bike. So let's get started. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and loosen the fork caps. If you want to do this on the bike, it's a lot easier. I'm going to try to do it without removing the handlebars if we can. I'm going to take this 17mm wrench, and I got a nice little small sledgehammer, and I'm going to break both of these loose. If for some reason you can't, you can also just take the handlebar off right here, just loosen those, pull that back, and do the same thing with the impact gun. These weren't too bad. So you don't want to take them off, just go ahead and loosen them just a little bit. Then we'll move on to getting the forks out. Next step we're going to do is go ahead and remove the brake from the wheel. 8mm right here. Just loosen those, and then you should be able to get this brake line out. Maybe not. We'll just go ahead and pull that all the way off then. We're also going to remove the brake caliper from the wheel here. That's going to be, I believe, a 12mm bolt. Yep. It's going to be a 12mm here. And one right here. And then your brake caliper will fall. You just want to hang it up somewhere so it's not hanging and mess up your thing. So I'm just going to set it right here on the engine. Next thing we're going to do is pull the actual wheel off. The axle side is going to be a 17mm. And the nut that's on mine is a 20. Sometimes they kind of get messed around a little bit, so they may not be what they're supposed to be. So that's what's on this one, is a 17 and a 20. So I'm going to put this on there. That wasn't really that tight on there either. Then we got to get the axle through. Normally I do it with a hammer, and I'm gonna have to go get one.
Yeah, you might be able to cut across.
So you just grab a hammer, lightly tap that end of it. You may have to get something to put in there and tap a little bit more. So I'm going to take this punch, put it right here in the end of the axle. Tap it some more. Before the punch goes all the way in, I'll pull it out. And then this should be able to wiggle out fairly easy. Come on. This axle needs to be greased for sure. There we go. Roll that out of the way and set it to the side. Next thing we got to do is pull the actual forks out. To do that, we got to loosen the triple clamps. We got one bolt here and two bolts here on both sides. So go ahead and loosen these. These are also 12mm. And whenever I go to loosen this last one, I'm gonna grab this one, the fork, because I have had them fall out before. This one didn't. Normally they don't, but I have had them do that. Do the same thing on this side. Alright, once those are loose, you'll grab the fork, and you should just be able to kind of twist it and pull down, and they should just fall right out. So there's that one there. Then we'll do the same thing on this side. Twist it and pull down. May have to twist it back and forth, and they come right out. Now we'll take them to the workbench. So now we'll take these out of here. We'll set all this to the side here.
Love the bracelet. It was really good in the camera.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and finish getting this cap off with the 17. Should screw until this outer tube falls. There's a nut in here that you have to grab with the wrench, so you're going to compress the spring a little bit. You're going to put this wrench on there, and it's not the right size, so let me go find the right size. Alright, so we're going to put the 14mm wrench on there, and then we're going to loosen this cap some more. I may have to grab my impact for this. Ooh. Careful. Once they break loose, should be able to spin this cap all the way off. Alright, then everything will come out right here. Your rod and everything, just put it to the side. Keep it safe. Go ahead and pull the spring out. There's probably not very much oil in these. After that, we'll dump it. And then we're going to push this in and out a handful of times, try to drain as much as possible. Now that we've got most of it out, we're going to put it back on the bench here. We're going to extend this all the way out. We're going to grab a flathead screwdriver and very carefully pry up this outer dust seal. Just try to get under it and lift up on it. Normally you can get under it and twist the screwdriver and it'll pop up a little bit. There it comes. There we go. We'll slide it down the tube. Next thing that's in there is a small retaining clip. Grab a pick. It's easy to get behind. Just get your pick in it, because it's got little indents. Grab your pick in it. Gently go around the edge, popping it out. Be sure not to scratch your tubes. Slide it down. And then to pull the rest of it apart, you're going to use it like a slide hammer. So you're going to push in and just pull apart until it pops apart. And now that you got them separated, now's a good time to make sure it is fully empty. Clean out the ends of them here. Normally I have them standing up doing this, but I'm going to lay it sideways just so I can show you. So you've got a couple bushings here. This big, I call it a washer, but it's really just a spacer. Get you a flathead. You'll find a groove in this top bushing here. Split it. You need to be able to push it up and over. It's hard to do laying down.
It's not in the camera.
There we go. And if you were to want to replace these here as well, you can. If they were wore out or whatnot, these seem to be decent. It's grabbing my skin. That hurt. Now I also like to lay these out in the order that I take them off, just so I don't forget. So bushing, then we got another bushing here, washer. Since they're old, I'm not worried about them, but the lips here can damage those. We got the oil seal, retaining ring, and then the dust seal. So to put these on now, there's a couple methods to not tear your new seal. I used a plastic bag method for a long time. You just get like a grocery bag, put a little bit over here, oil up your seal, and you can get over it and not damage them on the little lips there. But if you do have them, seal bullets are very nice. I ordered some, so I'm gonna go get those. So I don't even have the right size for these. So it seems.
Now you got to use a paper bag.
Yep. So since I don't have the correct size seal bullet, I am going to use the plastic bag method. I will have to get the right size seal bullet, but all that's going to do is cover those sharp edges. So go ahead and get your fork oil. I'm going to be using the Honda, Pro Honda stuff. It's 5 weight. Just go ahead and lube up the bag a little bit. That way it goes on a little bit easier. So in the order of, this is how we took it off. We got to put them back in backwards. Go ahead and grab the dust seal. I go ahead and oil it up just a little bit, and on the inside here. That way it does slide on easier. We got to carefully get it over that first lip. You kind of still got to work it a little bit, but it should still protect it from the sharp edge. The seal bullets make this so much better. There we go. And then just make sure you don't have any bag inside of the seal here, which I don't. And then I'm gonna go ahead and inspect the bag again to, yeah, see, my bag ripped right here. Where is it? Right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a new piece for my oil seal. I've used this method many times than I can count. So we'll just wrap it in that, and we'll do the same thing. Go ahead and oil the bag a little bit. And then we'll take our oil seal. You want to make sure you put them in the right way. Normally, it'll have a retaining spring in there. You can see it on this one here. But it looks like this side has one as well. But just remember the way you take them off. So that would be the outside, this would be the inside. So we'll go ahead and put this on now. We'll go ahead and oil that up as well, just a slight little bit. Yep, see, that one went on so much easier too. Again, make sure you don't have any paper bag in there, because this is the one that you don't want to leak. The dust seal just keeps dirt and debris out. This one actually holds the oil in. I know I did not put the retaining ring on. That's okay. You can actually do that last if you want. So we'll go ahead and put the rest of these back on in the order that we took them off. That'll snap back in. Now's a good time to go ahead and wipe the forks off a little bit. Make sure they're nice and clean. This rag looks dirty, and it probably is just a little bit, but I'll make sure to clean them up again. I don't see any debris on them, but I'll wipe them with my hands. So now we need to put this back together. So we're gonna take our outer tube and our inner tube here. We're gonna slide them together. And then your oil seal here will be what seats down in here. All right. Put the tubes back together, slide your oil seal down there, put the seal driver on, once you can see the groove, take your retaining clip, pull it apart a little bit just to get past the inner tube. Push it in, gently push on it with your something to seat it. Wait for the click, make sure it's in all the way, and then pull the dust seal down and seat it into place as well. So now we get to fill it up with oil. All right, brand new bottle. It's got 16 ounces in it. We'll pour 12 ounces in it. All right, there's 12 ounces. You always want to try to get all the bubbles out, because that's going to mess up your suspension quality, I guess is how you could say it, if you don't get it all out. That's partially why you do the pumping of the rod here. Try to get all those little air bubbles out. let it sit a second, and then we'll throw it all back together with the spring. Alright, so we'll pull the rod up here. That's good right there. And we're gonna drop the spring on over it. Hurry up and compress it so we can grab that. Grab our cap and rod. Oh, that hurt. Spin it back on there. And we're going to tighten this down to 15 foot-pounds. Set the torque wrench back down to 15. Alright, and then we've already found out on the other one that we can't tighten it down to 25 off the bike. So we'll tighten it down by hand. And that's basically all you're going to get out of it. I'll put the... yeah, I can't do any more. Too oily here. So now let's make sure that it's not leaking. We're gonna wipe the outer tube, make sure there's no oil on it. Press it a few times. Looks good to me. I don't see any oil on it. So let's go back and put these on. So now that they're not leaking and they are good, you just go to put them back on. The cap here, torque it down to 25. The tree bolts, they are 16 foot-pounds. The brake caliper bolts would be 22 foot-pounds, and the axle is 51 foot-pounds. I hope this helped you change your fork seals on your Honda CRF 150R. If it did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in another one.